All right, and welcome back to We Don't Care Gamers, and we're in Albaneve, and I'm going to show you where I mine certain resources and I farm certain plants to get started as soon as we arrive in Albaneve. So when we get here, we're coming to the Passage of Albaneve Summit. We get a quest to discover this area. We go up under the mountain past the Vuka, and we go up along the trail. We go through, let me zoom in here, Vuka Ceremony Hill. We go through Driffa. Ceremony Hill is right below the tower where we're going to mine our first gold chest here in Albaneve. When we get done here, we may set an altar here, and then we're going to cross the bridge, and we're going to continue up alongside the roadside here, and we're going to land at this this platform here where we're going to use the natural updraft to get across to Albaneve Ancient Spire. And there's two canyons we got to cross. But when you get here, you are going to discover Amethyst right here. This is a great source. It looks like, yeah, this is just this little thing in the wall, like all the other amethysts you may see as you're going up and around in Albaneve. But the thing about this one is that you go in this cavern that has a ton of amethyst for you to mine and farm. So this is right along the road when you're entering. Now, a lot of players will go up and all the way around, and then they'll come down and eventually get to the Albaneve Ancient Spire. So it's a long journey. I don't do that. I just glide across. So I made several videos on entering Albaneve, but this is where I get Albaneve in forging the path. Now, when we arrive to the Albaneve Ancient Spire and we've climbed it, we're right here. The first thing we want to start doing is getting warm clothing, because if you step out here, we're going to start experiencing frost. And so you can see right here, there's frost warning, and we have a timer. And if you don't have warm clothing, that timer is very, very short. So everything we're going to talk about in this video, I'm not sure I'm going to get to fertilized farm soil. I cover that in another video. You really don't need to worry about warming clothes. So the first thing I do is go off the east side here. I have Ghost Glider. I'm assuming you've got the same. And we're going to head right down into here, very close, to get Wolfbane and our starting Gentian. So right here is Wolfbane. So you can harvest this. And then if you go up a little further, we're going to, don't go up too far. There's some enemy up there you probably don't want to tangle on earlier. You start getting Gentian, right? And then you want to get back, get your fertilized farm soil, whether you're crafting it or you're following my video on how to get an unlimited amount of fertilized farm soil that still works in forging the path. That's up to you, but you want to start grabbing that as soon as possible and growing it and preparing for advancing in Albaneve. Now there's another source for Gentian in case you're in a hurry to even get more, and that is off to the southwest. So again, we're out of the, there we go. We're out of the frozen area, so we don't have to worry about warm clothing. And we're going to glide down here past this broken bridge. And let's see, it's morning time. There it is. There's a broken bridge right about below my head. You'll see a smoke plume there from a camp. We're going to glide over the top of it. And right along this road, there is several more locations for Gentian. So this is what I'm looking for right here, this return beacon. And then right past it, you're going to find Gentian along the side of the road. So right over here, you can see some right here. Be careful of the kitty cats. You go down the road a little bit here, you're going to see more Gentian. There's another one. You go down a little further, There's another one, and so on. So the kitty cat, they added yaks here, lots of them. And the kitty cats will be distracted. You certainly can't take those on too early in the game. And I wouldn't farm my yaks here. I have a better spot, and we'll show you that a little bit later on. So again, another Gentian. All right, so just another source of Gentian, and we zoom out right in here, and here is Albaneve. So we just glided down here past the elixir production site. There's a small watchtower that's here, and you have a couple of things that you can look for to help you get your Gentian. Oh, another one right here I skipped over. All right, so that's Gentian. All right, the next one is coal, and as soon as you get here, start mining your coal. We're going to go off the south side again, and you're going to see a broken bridge down there. I sometimes call it a dam that keeps the shroud from going through, but it's more like a broken bridge. But if we just glide down here to the south, you can start to see it above my head, and still in forging the path, there's a ton of coal here for you. So all the coal you'll ever need is right here. There certainly are a lot of other smaller points for coal along the roadside and in the mountains, but this is my favorite spot for coal. And so we are sitting right here, just south of the ancient spire, right? So that is coal. Next is Enshrouded Ice. And in Path of the Exiles, the geography, the landscape changed a little bit. We got this little road that goes along the top here. Used to drop down there and run through the shrouded area. There's lots of critters, bomb bugs down there to deal with. But just run off the side here, and you're going to run into the shrouded area where we find Enshrouded Ice. So it looks like this. And we'll just go ahead and start picking it up, and look at all of this Enshrouded Ice. So you'll start farming your Enshrouded Ice right here, and you can very quickly get out of the shroud when you're done farming. You can go this way, you can go up the road, but you can get out of the shroud very easily. I love this place because it is very close. Just drop down, just like you did for coal. Just drop down into the shrouded area on the other side of the broken bridge, and yeah, lots of Enshrouded Ice and a few other fun things to do with, like vultures. Since we're here, we're very close to silver ore, so we just go down here. You look for this little rock stack here with active mycelium on it, and you go down here, we've got silver ore. So you've got it here, and you have it down here. So this is my favorite place for silver ore. There certainly are a lot of other places, but just like coal and Enshrouded Ice, it is literally a drop from the ancient spire from Albaneve right down into the shrouded area, and again the same escape route to get all the silver ore you're going to need. And you want to start, you can't do anything with it yet, but until you get the forge to do the silver, you're going to get a quest for that shortly. But to complete that, yeah, you're going to want warming food, and if you can get a couple pieces of warming clothing, that would be great too. Now, I get asked a lot about Chanterelle, and Chanterelle is used for certain cooking recipes to restore stamina, or that one's health and stamina, yeah. And people are saying, where's the Chanterelle? I can't find it. And if you run around here, we've got some mobs out in front of us, you're going to see Chanterelle up around the trees, right? Now I'm high level and those are fairly easy to see, but there's Chanterelle here. I might have already farmed it on the ground. Let me go and check it is should be right here. And I'm not seeing, oh yeah, it is. Here it is right here. Here's Chanterelle. So pick that up. Every time I come across it, I pick it up. That's why I thought I already got it when I'm coming in. So that is Chanterelle. As you can see, we're still not in the frost, so no warm clothing required for this. The next thing we're going to do is be very careful dropping off this, because it's literally a cliff that goes down and you can barely see. But as you're coming down here, you're headed towards an elixir well, and that might show up on your map, I don't know. But you have a ton of critters and bomb bugs. And here's where you're going to get Critter Carapace, and as much Critter Carapace as you want and need. Now again, there are a lot of enemies depending on what your enemy amount is set at, but there's a lot of critters. You can get around them, but you're going to want to watch out for bomb bugs. You can see those little glowing red things. Now what's interesting is when we run into this cave right here, you're getting a lot of Critter Carapace, critters and Critter Carapace from that area. Right here, you're going to see a spawn point for them. And if you go to open this chest, and let's just go ahead and unlock it. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and take the loot. You get all of these critters that pop up. Now, I have an AoE shock, so I have my skelly friend there helping out. I'm picking up a lot of Critter Carapace. So you're going to use and need a lot of Critter Carapace for making your frost armor and quite a few other things in Forging the Path and Enshrouded. Alright, we are back to Albaneve Ancient Spire, again, right where the spawn point is here. We're facing off to the south, the same direction that we've gotten everything else, like coal that we went down here by the broken bridge. And we're going to head down to the coal point. Now, when it comes to taming, you'll find Fizzy Goats there's a few farms around here, but they're on hillsides. And when you're throwing down your bait, it gets a little frustrating because your bait will roll down the hill. There might be mobs around it. You got to chase around the Fizzy Goats. And yeah, there are 2 Fizzy Goats that are still here in Forging the Path. And I'm going to scare them away probably when I run down there. There's one, and there's a second one in here. There's 2, right? And there's a yak right there, and there are 2 yaks here. But this is not where I get my yaks, so I'm going to show you that next. So I get 2 Fizzy Goats down here pretty quick. Your bait is on somewhat of a flat area, and it's much easier to tame them here. All right, you can tame a couple of yaks here as well. You just go up there, and you saw the one on the road there. And then when you get back to your base and you start farming them, if you will, there is another word in agriculture that you use. You're going to lay down more than 2 beds. Just because you have 2 tamed animals, if you lay down 3, 4, or more beds, they will multiply. So you'll get to 4 Fizzy Goats. 2 to 4 is enough to start getting fizzy milk pretty quickly and start doing the things you need to do. But let's do yaks next. All right, we are back to Albaneve Ancient Spire. We're sitting right here, and what we're going to do is glide to the east over the Balefire. This happens to be, let me just go to map. This happens to be the Balefire Garrison Silk Frost, and you're going to discover that as soon as you get near it. We're going to glide over the top here. I have Ghost Glider. You can land here if you have a stamina issue. Then we're going to bear ride a little bit over this shrouded area, and we're going to take this little canyon up to our yak farm. So I might speed the video up here, but if you've got a stamina issue, you can land on the roofs here, get your stamina back up, and then continue your travel. But we're just going to glide over the top here, and then we're going to start bearing right a little bit, and you can already start to see the canyon that we're going to be going into up for our yak taming. And there's a VUCA camp there. You want to kill the VUCA as soon as possible. I was here recently, so they may not have spawned. And there's the VUCA camp. There's about 3 in there, I believe. You want to kill them as soon as possible right here without scaring the yaks, because they will start killing your yaks, and you don't want that, right? And then you're going to have your bait on you. You're going to crouch down here, and there are 4 or 5 yaks that are here. The ground is fairly flat, so your food's not going to go flying away from you. See the question mark, chuck your food, and then go after the yaks you need. All right, this is not a taming video, but here is where we get our yaks. So we came from Albaneve, glided across, made a slight turn, came up this canyon, took care of the VUCA, and then we're taming our yaks. All right, and I get like 2 to start, lay down about 4 beds. They multiply pretty quickly, but you can get 4, even 5 yaks here, and you want to start making wool as quickly as possible so that you can start crafting your warm armor. Now I'm a caster, I'm using hail caster. Chest, I have +4 on my chest piece of frost resistance, and each one of the pieces here. All right, so yeah, you're going to want to do that as quickly as possible. So that is yaks. All right, we're going to wrap up now. This video was on Albaneve, my favorite farming and mining points around the map. We covered quite a bit today. Albaneve is an awesome zone. I'm not a big fan of the frost, so I don't build any bases here. The only altar that I leave here is when I get to Howling Peak. I've got a video on how to get to Howling Peak, and I'm doing another playthrough of Enshrouded, Forging the Path. Brand new character, and I'm going to be going through the game, checking resources, landscape, and geography changes as we're going through all the way to Veilwater. So next episode, I may do a video on Veilwater resources, but there's not really a video to make outside of the nighttime pink flowers, which you're going to need to strengthen your flame and do some other things. Maybe I'll make a video on that to show you the path that I take for that. So until that next episode, happy gaming!